From the City of Angels, you're listening to the James Salazar Media Podcast. On today's episode, we're going to talk about headlines from the world of futurism. So let me strike the music and I'll meet you on the other side.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Say hello to my little friend.
No, I am your father.
I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
And welcome to the James Salazar Media Podcast, where you get your weekly dose of pop culture, politics, and futurism. I realize I have not done that weekly. I have an announcement. I got COVID-19. It affected me about a month, but I got through it. I am better. I feel better. And, it was very interesting. As you know, COVID attacks people very differently. Me and my mom, I got it from my mother, and she got it from the daycare where she has my nephews. And she passed it on to me. I passed it on to my family. And we all got it. Within 2 days, 7 people got it in my family. And me and my mom got it the worst. And but we got through it. And the interesting is, my father got it, and he has Parkinson's, diabetes, hepatitis, and a couple other things he found, other diseases he found in the jungles of Vietnam. He's pretty old, but it didn't affect him at all. He had it. So who knows how this thing works? You can't put your finger on it. Once you think you understand it, life shows you that you don't. I never felt I couldn't breathe so bad that I needed to go to the hospital. But there was moments where I was deciding, but I got through it. And not to say, my best friend, Bax Baca from the Life Podcast, he had it really, really bad, where he was almost fainting. And he had to stay in the hospital for about a week. They gave him the good medicine, and he was able to recover. So, and he's a pretty healthy guy, pretty strong individual, and it hit him hard. So, what do you know? What do you know? We have a lot of laws coming down because of COVID. We're asked to quarantine ourselves again and shut down and stop eating at restaurants. This seems like it makes sense, but the numbers don't seem to be working out that way. We know that people get it from being in their homes. We know at restaurants it's like a less than 2% chance you're going to get it at a restaurant, according to the numbers. And I caught it from home. Look, I went to Mexico, went to Vegas twice, went to the beach like 7 times this year, went hiking, went to the malls, but I got it at home. Walked into my mom's house, she's coughing, stood there for smart, I wasn't very smart, I stood there I just didn't put 2 and 2 together because my mom has a lot of allergies. And but I noticed she was coughing a lot, and I was there for a half hour, and then I told my wife, we need to go. Well, I didn't tell her that. I said to myself, we need to go. I think my mom has COVID, and we're going to find this out. And within a day, I started feeling bad. So it is what it is. We have the vaccines going out, which is a great thing for people who are my age, young. They are not going to get it probably till July. I mean, I don't know if that's the best case scenario or the worst case scenario, but It's going to go to the health care providers like it should. It should go to all the people in homes, elderly people, and I'm pretty sure my mother and father are going to get it. And when it's available to them. And then the rest of the citizens of the United States will get it. And hopefully we can obtain herd immunity by July and everything's back to normal. Cross your fingers. Cross your fingers. But, overall, I was just coughing a lot. Found it hard to take my breath. Didn't get any diarrhea. My ass didn't explode. So I don't know what those people saving up toilet papers are worried about. Of course, my friend Bax Baca, if you can go back to his podcast, he talks about his experience with diarrhea inside the hospital. So his experience is very different than mine. And it's a very funny, I don't know which one it is, but it's a very funny podcast to listen to. A lot of hijinks and embarrassing moments that he is forthcoming with, which makes his podcast great. So that's all I have to say about that. Looks like Donald Trump has no path to victory. I still think he should do all his his lawyers deal with the problem, because it is pretty obvious that there was corruption. There were some underhanded dealings with the software, and overzealous Democrats, probably worried that Donald Trump was winning, decided to break the law. And but was it worldwide, or was it the nationwide plan of Democrats to steal the election? I don't see that to be true. But there was corruption in small areas, in certain states, especially in the swing states. And what we're going to see is, as we had 4 years of Democrats saying Donald Trump stole the election, with pretty much no proof, you're going to have to see the Republicans say that Joe Biden stole the election, with proof of corruption, but not proof that he stole the whole election. But it ain't going to matter. So the next 4 years, it's going to be shit. And people are going to take their sides. And nothing's going to get done. And the American people are going to be screwed. Because the Republicans not only have a little leg to stand on, that the Democrats are corrupt, and that they shouldn't be in office. It doesn't help anybody. And it won't go anywhere. And they're not going to be able to prove it. If they do prove it, the Democratic Party are just going to get those people who did break the law and prosecute them and say, look, we didn't condone this, and we are prosecuting them for the full extent of the law, and our hands are wiped from it. So we'll see what happens. But as of right now, Donald Trump still has his lawyers working, and should, and he has every right, the president has every right to question the results of the election. That is we allow that as a part of our democratic process, and to deny that or to disparage that is anti-democratic. We put these systems in to make sure we get the right result. Donald Trump is disputing the result. He is fighting it. I personally think he's not going to change anything, but he has every right to. And the propaganda from the media and Democrats right now that he's trying to subvert democracy when they didn't, and he should accept the results. And the Democrats didn't accept Donald Trump's results for the last 4 years. And 2 days before his inauguration, they tried to throw the whole election out. So the intellectual dishonesty is stupid, and it hurts to see people who are on one side and everybody flipping sides because it's in their interest to do that. So, what are you going to do with that? And I try to be even keel over this subject because I know I'm partisan, not in parties, but I'm a libertarian with conservative leanings, so I do come from an agenda, like everybody else. Nobody does not come from their agenda, because the agenda that people come from, it comes from life experience. We would hope. I know that some people have agenda that is ideological based, because the person over them who's been in the position longer told them that this is right, and they believe it, and now they stick to their guns for it. Sort of like religion. I always say to people, I save all my ridiculous, fanciful beliefs for religion, and I try not to put them in my politics. I believe the left in this country does the opposite. They get rid of religion and they keep all their crazy and fanciful beliefs about government and think they're reality. So, that's all I have to say about that. So let's head on to headlines from the world of futurism. Okay. First one from Advanced Transportation. I'm talking to you. Reports electric cars could be cheaper than gas in just 2 years. Let me see. Electric cars could be cheaper than gas ones in just 2 years. Okay. In a matter of 2 to 3 years, electric cars can on track to become cheaper than gasoline-powered alternatives, according to this new report by the energy research firm. According to the report, the market average for batteries will hit just 101 per kWh by 2023, 2 years from now. Analysts have long predicted that for electric vehicles to match the price of gas ones, I don't know when gas cars, why don't they just put gas cars instead of gas ones? The cost would have to meet a $100 per kWh threshold. A federal and state tax credit could end up pushing it below that figure. Kilowatt. So I just found out what that was. That was a 101 per kilowatt. The reason why price of energy stores is such an important automotive indicator is because the battery pack amount for roughly a quarter of an EV's total cost makes it the number one determination of price. It could be the electric car industry watershed moment. Once dipping below price of gasoline-powered engines, electric vehicles will look far more attractive to far more consumers. In other parts of the world, the threshold has already been breached. For instance, the report notes that the battery pack for an e-bus in China has already been sold at less than 100 per kilowatt. Boom. My friends. And there we go. Bill Gates invests in a hydrogen-powered airplane startup. Hydrogen-powered plane startup Zero Ava just added some heavy hitters to its rosters of financial backers. These companies closed its Series A funding round, in which investors include Bill Gates, Breakthrough Energy Ventures, and Amazon Climate Pledge Fund gave a total of 21 million, in addition to the UK government investing 16 million, all monies that the company says will go towards making hydrogen fuel cells viable, replacing for fossil fuels. So that's cool. Tesla's full self-driving code contains secret augmented reality view. While digging through the code of their Tesla full self-driving features, a noted Tesla hacker owner who goes through by the handle Green found an augmented reality view of everything the vehicle is capable of seeing in vivid detail. Elon Musk-led company began rolling out its full self-driving beta in October, allowing a secret group of Tesla owners to test the feature. In several videos posted on Twitter, the hacker shows off much of the coveted augmented reality view. There also spotted tons of dead code, including snippets that may hint at a possible feature that could be released down the road, coast to coast, and map selection. Self-driving feature suite is $10,000 option. All right. No. That's interesting, I think. Okay, I'm not going to let this that quickly annoy me. Walmart plans to start ditching human drivers next year. For over 2 years, Walmart has been testing out its autonomous driving trucks, and now the company says it's almost ready to take human drivers out of the driver's seat. Beginning next year, the retail giant plans to do away with human operators tending to its self-driving fleet of trucks in Arkansas and Louisiana. This is the wave of the future. You have to be ready. If you're a driver, you have to be ready. This job is going to go away. Rideshare, long haul, they're all going to be replaced by AI and autonomous driving vehicles. Let me tell you something. Uber. I am still an Uber driver. I haven't been on the app for about 9 months. And the cut of Uber is 25 to Uber and 75 to the driver. Once Uber buys the cars that it needs and that are autonomous, with a flick of a switch, they can go from 25% profit to 100% profit. And they will be stupid not to. And you will be stupid not to prepare for that eventuality. So, please, my fellow Americans and the world at large, if you're in a driving job, you need to get into a job that's not only relevant for today, but it will be relevant for tomorrow. Learn how to code. Learn how to fix computers, run wire, fix robots. Because that's where the world is going. That's where the jobs are going to go. Stop it. All right, Japan's government is using AI to set up lonely singles on dates. They have a slowing birth rate that it's becoming a problem. Japanese officials are taking unconventional approach to boosting the country's declining birth rates, helping the lonely populace find love using AI. Yoshida Suga, the new prime minister of Japan, who elected in September, will serve as a matchmaker for lonely singles in their region. According to the Agence France Press, it sounds, well, unusual, but official hopes the AI is savvy enough to revitalize the entire country's population. Well, let's wish them good luck. We don't want them not to have babies. The Pope is praying for AI that serves humanity. Early this month, Pope Francis put out a call for all Catholics to pray for the future development of artificial intelligence and robots are made with the good of humanity in mind. The Pope has put out similar messages in the past, calling on technologies to build AI and improve modern science rather than exacerbating its inequalities. But now in the Verge report, he's specifically urging Catholics to pray for AI that will always serve mankind. So, looks like the Archbishop is showing the Pope too many AI movies like Terminator, and he's getting scared. And that's the only avenue he can do anything, is telling people to pray. Pray for the people, Mr. Pope. Pray for the people, because those are the ones whoever's gonna screw up concerning AI is gonna be done by a human. That's for sure. Looks like the Pope better get on his knees. MIT engineers just built an AI that designs its own robots. We are fucked. Where is it? Where is that? Oh my goodness. At the latest bit of evidence of humanity has learned nothing from the Terminator franchise, we present robo-gamers, an AI algorithm that can design its own robot bodies. Thankfully, Grammar still needs a helping hand from humanity. And it can't manufacture anything on its own, so the machine uprising remains unlikely. I don't know if it's unlikely. I don't know if it's inevitability, but we don't have enough information to say unlikely. But the MIT built algorithm is particularly adept at designing the ideal body for a given set of conditions, making it a valuable tool for robotics in the needs of some fresh ideas. Oh yeah. They can create a body for it to go on Mars, and it can create a body that can probably swim in the sea, or live in space, or be on the moon, or crush human heads.
I am a robot.
Citizens of the Earth, you will be destroyed.
And how? What do we have here? Global humans made stuff now outweighs all living biomass. According to the new study published in the prestigious Journal of Nature this week, the total mass of humans made material now outweighs the entirety of the Earth's living biomass. We find that the Earth is exactly at the crossover point. In the year 2020, there's a 6 plus the anthropogenic mass, which has recently doubled roughly every 20 years, will surpass all global living biomass. The researchers from Weizmann Institute of Science in Israel conclude in their paper. The researchers' goal was to figure out the balance between the entirety of humanity's footprint on the planet, anything from concrete to bricks to asphalt, all living land and marine creatures, as well as plants, and added together. Since the first agricultural revolution, humanity has roughly halved the mass of plants, While modern agriculture utilizes an increasing land area for growing crops, the total mass of domestic land crops is vastly outweighed by the loss of plants mass resulting from deforestation, forest management, and other land use changes. So all the man-made structures, bricks, asphalt, plus the land that we cultivate for food outweighs the loss of plants and deforestation and forest management. So that can't be good. We are almost 8 billion people. So it's going to be kind of hard to reverse that. So get on it, scientist. China just powered up its artificial sun fusion reactor. China has successfully powered up an artificial sun nuclear fusion reactor for the first time. The reactor, which is the country's largest, could one day generate power without running the risk of nuclear meltdown or emitting greenhouse gases by fusing atoms together rather than breaking them apart. The technical challenges, though, are steep. The system HL-2M Tomahawk reactor needs to be heated up to 10 times the temperature of the core of the sun, or about 150 million degrees Celsius, according to the state-run Chinese newspaper, hence the reactor's nickname. So, here's the thing. China is never forthcoming about any flaws. Communist societies are never forthcoming because they like looking good more than being right. So I hope this is a good thing. It'll be great if they can do what they're trying to do, and it is what it is. But do I think once they said they were going to do that, did they cut corners to make that date? Most likely. Do they have do you think they have regulations that they have to follow that come before producing the result they want? I'm pretty sure they take a back seat. After a year of COVID, I just don't have trust in the Chinese government. The Chinese people are great, but I don't have trust in the government to tell us the truth about anything. And neither do the Chinese people. So, but I hope for the best and hope the planet doesn't explode. But if it did, we won't know about it. It would be pretty fast. At least I hope it would be. All right. A powerful AI generated some predictions for the future, and they are quite outrageous. So let's read them. A powerful AI algorithm has some unusual predictions for what lies in store down the road. Let's see the first one. When killer orchids attack, how the deadly corpse orchids is turning up in U.S. backyards. Okay, so they even talk weird. Next one. Reports of 10-foot-tall penguins roaming about on the family island in Solomon Islands are investigated. Interesting. Scientists recreate a giant Lipo-lost NASA space shuttle represents 4 decades of completely dark. Hey, Curiosity rover, don't go small. Drones take a 6-killer mysterious hole observed. How did we miss the massive abandoned asteroid? Scorpions on the dark side of NASA. The Earth's halts and state is true. We must all... Hey, Curiosity rover, don't chase shadow bugs. Many of them, what are dragging cats and why they are getting hyped is very nearly in the tone of the headline, but falls just short of making sense. No shit. Okay, so I wasted your time on that. I gotta work on that shit. They should shut that AI down and figure it out more. Please. That is silly. France says it's working on a bionic super soldier because everyone else is doing it. And that is true. We are in an AI war, people. The next space race is an artificial intelligence. All right? The next race is for the next arms race is for artificial intelligence. French military is starting an exploratory work on developing a bionic super soldier, which officials described as necessary to keep up pace with the rest of the world. The Military Ethics Committee gave its blessing to begin developing super soldiers on Tuesday. All right, Tuesday. Balancing the moral implications of augmenting and altering humanity with the desire to innovate and enhance the military capabilities. With the go-ahead, France joins countries like the U.S., Russia, and China, and reportedly attempting to give their soldier high-tech upgrades. Okay, so, yeah. U.S., Russia, and China are way ahead of France. And I think China and Russia, since they don't have the, regulations, I mean, then the U.S. would impose on itself. They're probably ahead of us in that regard. We are the superpower, but AI super soldiers could even that out, which is not very good. Living in a third-person view, sorry, I didn't have my mouse in the mic. Living in a third-person view with AR and a backpack-mounted camera. So, you know how you can see when you're playing a video game, you can come above your own character and see the whole landscape and him walking in it. Well, that's what this camera does for the soldier. He can see all around in a third-person view, which is cool. That should help him. I mean, it would confuse people at first, but they would definitely get better at it, I would assume. And I've been saying this. I told you this was going to come. It happened a year ago where we started to put cameras connected to the eye and outside of the body. Doctors are preparing to implant the world's first human bionic eye. A team of researchers at Monash University in Melbourne, Australia, has built a bionic device that they say can resolve vision to the blind through brain implants. The team is now preparing for what they claim to be the very first human clinical trial of a bionic eye and are asking for additional funding to eventually manufacture it on a global scale. It is essentially the guts of a smartphone combined with human brain implants, microelectrodes. The bionic eye vision system and project that more than 10 years in the making, bypassing damaged optic nerves and allowing the signal to be transmitted from the retina to the vision center of the brain. So this is going to plug a bionic eye is into the vision center of the brain and just take and the veins and the wires, not veins, the veins and the ligaments that connect from the brain to the eye in the natural process. They're going to take those veins out and directly attach a fake wire, an artificial vein, into the vision brain center and attach it to the bionic eye and slip it right in, like Steve Austin. Good for us. So let's say in 5 years, the rich will be able to have bionic eyes. And about another 10 years from that, everybody will have them. Brave new world, people. Brave new world. Space Force airman disciplined for playing hooky to buy a PlayStation. That's just stupid. I mean, there's tons of bad things that happen in every other military part of our system. In the Air Force, there's always somebody doing something. But they're doing this just to try to make the Space Force look stupid because some guy played hooky. And I'm not going to give it a time of day. I'm not going to read the guy's name so they can use it as propaganda to tear down this thing that Donald Trump built. That is needed, because what they will just do is just take it down and then put something else up with a different name. And I see what they're doing. It's stupid. Just roll with what we have and just make it better. That's all I have to say. Elon Musk says he's moving to Texas. We all know that. Traditional vitamins are inefficient. They are transdermal spray vitamins are game changers. Let's see. Transdermal. Vitamins are a great way to make sure your body has fuel for nourishment it needed to function at its best. Or at least that in theory. In reality, most of the vitamins you get are your local pharmacy or health food store don't actually make it into your bloodstream, which means they are literally flushing both the nutrients and your money down the toilet. So if you want vitamins that actually stay in your system to do the job, you need to take a look at Wellspring Vitamin Hemp Kit from Intri. Oh, this is a commercial. Stupid. I am so upset. Let me see. Society, we've done that. Health and medicine, what do we got? Health and medicine. Ian McKellen, Magneto. Not Voldemort. I was going to say Voldemort. What's his name? Gandalf the Grey says he felt euphoric after taking the COVID vaccine. Sir Ian McKellen, 81-year-old actor known best for Gandalf and Magneto and the horrifying cat monster. What the fuck? What? I don't know what movie's that. Got his first dose of COVID-19 vaccine on Wednesday, according to the CNN. When it was over, McKellen said he felt euphoric and urged everyone who medically able to take the vaccine. Okay, thank you, Mr. Ian McKellen. Good job. This is not good. Brain-eating amoeba is spreading in the United States, scientists said, according to a new study and research from the Centers of Disease Control Prevention. Negeria fowler, better known as a brain-eating amoeba, is slowly making its way northwards from the southern United States and we got climate change to blame. Then news isn't quite as gloomy as it sounds. The actual number of yearly cases isn't increasing. It's just that they are occurring over large geographic areas. A single-celled organism behind the infection is usually found in warm bodies of fresh water, including lakes and rivers. Once a person is infected, an exceedingly rare occurrence usually results from swimming or diving in infected waters. The amoeba travels from the nose into the brain. Once there, the organism can kick off a nasty brain condition called primary amoebic meningoencephalitis. And yep, according to CSE, it's usually fatal. Holy shit. Not good. Stay out of them river waters. Stay out of them river waters. The U.S. seems to have way more vaccine doses than it thought. In the world gearing up for the biggest vaccination campaign in history, as the first frontline workers and seniors are getting the COVID-19 shots, there are more good news. The U.S. might have far more Pfizer and biotech vaccines than initially thought. Health officials found that vials of the vaccine technically had vials of the vaccine have technically had enough of the precious liquid for not just 5 but 6 to 7 doses, as depending on the type of syringes used. The Food and Drug Administration confirmed Wednesday that those doses could indeed be used. Okay, so the vial holds 7 doses. So I guess they thought it was like 5. So 2 more. So 2 more people get vaccinated per vial. Awesome. That's good news. Good news. And Tom Cruise melts down at Mission Impossible crew for not following COVID rules. I heard this. I might have been for it in the middle of the crisis, but I get it. You can't have people once someone blows the COVID rules by the state, they get shut down, and it's out of Tom Cruise's hands. So I can understand why someone being stupid can shut down a whole film and affect so many other people. So I get it. Oh no, hold on. That was supposed to be Chewie. So that's what I think of Tom Cruise's meltdown. Chewie's right for it. And last but not least, let's talk about some off-world news. NASA said it will fly Canadians to the moon. How are they going to get there otherwise, right? They don't do shit. They just point out that they got free health care, and then they sit on their ass and do nothing else except reap the benefits of American military strength and Russia not taking them over. You heard? No. Trump signs directive calling for nuclear reactors in space. I mean, if it can be stable, why not use the amazing power that nuclear power gives? So why not? New satellite can peer inside buildings day or night. It's a very interesting picture. Very interesting picture. You can see in this, like, it looks like they're just like sketches, but that's just a computer going deeper and deeper into what it sees. So that for military and police use could be a game changer. They can follow the guy. He can't run. He cannot run. If they have something like that, no matter what house he goes into, they know exactly where he's at, what room he's in. So, Scientists left speechless after opening the asteroid samples. On February 2019, Japan's Hayabusa 2 space probe pulled off an incredible feat. The small spacecraft managed to collect surface dust from an asteroid, Ragu, hundreds of millions of miles from Earth. Early this month, the spacecraft dropped off the special package in South Australia, and the capsule with traces of the asteroid's dust inside. Scientists from Japan Space Agency JAXA opened the container on Tuesday and were impressed at the contents. When we actually opened it, I was speechless, JAXA scientist Hirotaka Samwad said. It was more than I expected, and there is so much that I was truly impressed. The quality of the sample was outstanding. It wasn't fine particles like powder, but it was plenty of samples of measured several millimeters across. The sample could have implications for research into organic life. We hope we can find out many things about how organic substances have developed on the parent body of Ragu. So, amazing. It's a great feat just to get that thing onto that meteor. Take samples, blast off, come back home, and give it to us. Pretty amazing. Right on. Oh, shoot. I don't want that.
Engage.
Oh, shoot. Wrong one. I don't know what I got. Okay. Oh, that's where I need to be right here. Damn it. Come back. Come back. All right. That was my little special effects for the day. And let's see. SpaceX next Starship prototype appears to have fallen over. It looks like it in the picture. Stupid. Why'd you do that? SpaceX Starship prototype may have gone up in a massive fireball after another strong showing during the spacecraft's first high-altitude test last week, but the space company isn't about to slow down. A new setback, though, seemed to have come up from its next prototype, dubbed SN9, the colossal 160 feet stainless steel spacecraft seemingly took a tumble over the weekend, collapsing into the side of the Texas Assemble building, which it is stored. So you see it just leaning against the wall. Pretty big thing. So, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna fix that with cranes and stuff, I assume. Whose brilliant idea was it to bring spiders into the space station? In an unusual series of experiments, scientists on the International Space Station kept live spiders on the International Space Station in order to study how arachnids spin webs in microgravity. The resulting research published last week on the Journal of Science showed that in the absence of gravity, spiders can instead orient their asimmic web around a light source. But the whole thing raised a bigger issue. Some of the world's foremost space researchers decided to bring live spiders with them into orbit. That's even more shocking given that NASA's first attempt to study back in 2008 was a disaster. It was never published, but it came up in a new study quite a bit. Spiders escaping into each other's cage and building webs on top of each other. Eventually, the fruit flies population that was brought to feed the spiders grew out of control so quickly that the ISIS crew members couldn't even see into the cage because there were so many flies were blocking it. Yet, the opportunity to try again up in 2011, science were all for it. Okay, so they screwed up the first time they did it. That's not much of a story. It's funny, but I guess the new one, the new experiment with spiders went well. So, and last but not least, former NASA scientist predicts the gold rush in space. When he was a computer scientist at NASA, Sanish Ramishan developed an algorithm for the Mars rover. Several jobs later, Marush is a co-founder of a venture capital firm, Rocket Ship, which invests in industries including space and space travel. He believes this is right for gold, and development made in it, he predicted, will transform nearly every aspect of our lives. So, I guess as soon as he made that algorithm for the Mars rover, and I'm pretty sure he was privileged to read some information, he thinks there's going to be a gold rush. So, and he started up a venture capital firm to do that. So, I don't know. Sounds like something to invest in. So, my friends, that's it today. Whoa. I will come back with another podcast about my predictions for next year for futurism, politics, and pop culture. It'll be an extravaganza of subjects. And if you want to follow me on any of my social media platforms, just type in James Salazar Media in Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, everything. Just type in James Salazar Media. I should have something in there for you. And yeah, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. And love your family and love each other. I might feel inspired to do a coaching podcast for the new year, but no promises. But we will come with the predictions. So, my friends, as the storm of life come against you and you find yourself on your knees or sick on your bed coughing, say what my sensei Jack Burton always says: give me your best shot. Strike the music. That's right, I got COVID. This is what I sounded like.
Oi, 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 oi.
Merry Christmas, everybody.